Yes, my esteemed viewers, this is KIMERA. As I took you through the previous episodes, uh, this time around we're on information literacy. This is my obviously third video on information literacy. I've been breaking them down into two simplest informations as possible, simplest as possible. So this time around, I'll take you through secondary sources. Secondary sources. As I've been giving the primary sources, I've given introduction to information literacy. And this time around, I'll take you through secondary. Secondary sources, these are usually these are one that intercept, analyze or summarizes primary sources or events. It is one step removed from the original material, and often it provides a broad perspective of critical insight into the primary data. Into the primary data. Uh, the Now for this case, we have the characteristics of the secondary sources. We have interpreta- inter, 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 interpretative, that's interpreting. There's evaluative, you analyze and then you analyze and then you evaluate on how much you've got, and then the summary, the summarizing into simpler data or content that's understandable by those who use it after, who use information after. And then I've talked about the summary. We have the contextual. We have the contextual. This usually simplifies that a lot. Now there is examples. The examples we can use the books. We can use journal articles. Journal articles, these are legit, which are usually influenced by many. You can get them on Google Scholars, and you can get them on Google any. You can just download them and then follow up. There are many from from whichever year that you'll be using. We have documentaries, we have essays, and reviews. There are also purposes. We have contextualization, we have interpretation and then analysis. We have broader understanding of data, broader understanding of data, mm, broader understanding of data. We have now for the case of the secondary sources, there's a role in research, there's a time frame, and then there's reliability. We have the examples in variation in the various fields. There's history on a book analysis, book history on a book analyzing the Churchill speeches on their impact on mo- moral public moral during the war. That usually that was way back in World War. And the science, research paper analyzing several experiments and drawing conclusions about the scientific theory. That is on the practicals or research or any what? That's according to the research you made. Suppose you're doing a research on some subject or topic, say research topic, or you could be having a research. You could be having a research, or you could be having a practical. Then you have to a practical. Then you must draw conclusions on practical analysis. Then there's what you call with art. These are documentary or article discussing Van Gogh's techniques and the cultural significance of the Starry Night. Um, we have the pros and the cons. Was I lately, earlier on informed you about the pros and cons. What was the meaning, and the pros were the advantages, where the cons are disadvantages. Uh, we shall go straight into the pros. The pros provide critical analysis and then comprehensive overview of the information. of research you could have provided, and then it helps to connect dots between different pieces of primary evidence. There's easier to access and understand than no primary data. Then the cons can introduce the disadvantages. They can introduce misinterpretations and bias. Now suppose you can misunderstand someone's work or craft. If someone meant something else and then you take a perspective of, like, someone can you can have your research and then draw conclusions according to your dimension from which you're viewing things, and then the other person takes on a perspective of understanding, um, of, some you can be indifferent on perceiving stuff, and then draws, also this person perceiving the information draws conclusions differently and then gets the bias. Mostly if you to trade this in a religions, um, culture, many things can create bias. And then these are second-hand accounts, so they lack the immediacy and then authenticity of the primary sources. A shout out to the sponsors who are behind the back. That's Gomo Technologies, that are doing a lot of work, and they do research. They do a lot of work on. They actually do train computer skills and information. They do trains, and they do repairs of all electronics and computer systems and everything. They do deliveries, but a cash on delivery, please. They don't want to demand. It's not a long thing. Thank you. We shall meet. Happy New Year.